see the start recording and the stop recording. The buttons were messed up. Okay, so today what I'm going to do is use some of the magicals to create a background for Rocky. I took a mini mister, a Tim Holtz mini mister from Ranger, and put blue hydrangea. But what I did when I was watching Joycey stream, and I got the new magicals that I got, the set that I got was the Victorian. I know Jane is here, and she just got that set, or is getting that set. That set has the blue hydrangea, the Ramblin' Rose, the Lucky Shamrock Green, the Canna Lily, and Sweet Violet Purple Teal was in that one. So what I did was I just made a swatch card on some watercolor paper, because that's usually a lot of times what I put it on. So there's the well, I just did all the ones I had. I did all the greens and the teals. Then I did all the oranges and the reds. Here's the Canna Lily, which I really like. It's kind of a coppery, reddish color. There's the Lucky Shamrock Green. There's the hydrangea. There's the Ramblin' Rose, and this is full strength. And there's the Sweet Violet Purple, which has a teal shimmer in it. But what I thought I would use today is and Kat's here, so I thought that we're using map paper. Here's Rocky. He's riding his motorcycle, getting ready to ride the motorcycle. And I thought that the perfect background for this piece would be map paper. So they're in Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati, I believe. Right? Cat? Just outside of Cincinnati? There's Hamilton, but it's Harrison. I found it on my phone. It may not show up very big in here. Yes, Rocky is so cute. So I have the Ohio map. So there's this page, and this page. And I'm waiting for Cheshire Cat to confirm what I thought. That Harrison is near Cincinnati. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is, right here, on the edge. It's literally on the border, isn't it? So I thought what we'd do is put some magicals on this paper to use, and they would recognize the places in the background. The papers I had also pulled before I thought of the map. I had pulled this map paper with turquoise, mainly because I liked this ticket and travel stuff. And I have that stencil, so we can get that stencil out. And I pulled this. And I thought maybe about using some of this in the corners, but I'm not positive. So what I thought we'd start with is, I'm going to start with one of the Ohio papers. I want to try out what we do. I made a spray, but I also thought we could put the magicals on the mat and sprinkle some. I thought this Lucky Shamrock Green, which has some blue in it, would be pretty in some places. And then the hydrangea. And then I liked the Tainted Teal. Love. I thought that one looked good with it, and the Frankenline. So I was really just looking at these four here. And then we just make some Ohio paper, and we see what we get, and then we do a background. So what I'm going to do is use the fan brush, Janet's trick, and just knock some on the table. That's the green. Then I'll use this other green in a couple places. And then the hydrangea blue. Yeah, that's a Yorkie Pomeranian mix, right? Isn't that what you told me? And then I'm not going to use very much of this tainted love teal. Because it's kind of dark. And if we like this combination, then we'll do it again for the map that counts. And then I'm just gonna, I like to mist it from up high and let it fall down. And then we'll I'm gonna add some spray to that. I like some of the dark and some of the lighter. Okay, I'm gonna take and put this other piece. Okay, so Kat, what I have is a little bit of a green and a hydrangea blue. This is hydrangea blue. I'm adding more hydrangea blue to it, because that's the main color I want. And I'm gonna stain the Cincinnati, I'm gonna stain the Cincinnati piece of paper. Yeah, this is it. I should not have jeans on. Oh, that's pretty. I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna get some more of this. I'm actually gonna dry that off camera. Because I think I want to come in and add on top of it. Trying to dry this off screen. so that I can come back in and get a little more on it. But I may need to sprinkle, I may want to sprinkle directly on it. I also have another idea. That didn't make that big a difference. Let me clean the table off. Okay. That's the last one I did in there. That one's real pretty. This one's really got some of the shimmer because it was the dregs, the bottom. I want some of that. On our other piece of paper. Okay. So let me set that aside and dry this. Oh, it's got a little bit of it. More than I thought. Let's get this to dry. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Janet. Well, I think I'm actually going to stencil. I just want it to be dry because this paper's so thin. This is the one, Kat. This is the one. This one is, I just was soaking up all the extra stuff. This is the one I'm going to use. But I think I want to stencil on some of it. This one's darker than I want it. But it's the first one I dipped. I just want to get it dry. And I'll find that stencil. Because this matte paper is so thin that if I am too rough with it, it'll just tear. It's not like the paper that Janet uses a lot of times. It's not as heavy. It's more like that tissue when you use it. It just gets really light. Actually, like the back side of the North Dakota side, too, on this one. This will end up just going into my pile, the extra Ohio papers. This is the one I want to use on Rocky. But I'm going to do this one so you can see, and then yay or nay. Joycey can go down a rabbit trail now with the best of them. Okay, here's what I'm thinking stencil-wise. Let me find the stencil. Should be in here. Oh, and I did work on Audrey's eyes a little bit yesterday. I ordered the bling, but it's got to come in. There is that stencil, but that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the companion. This is the one. It's got like travel words and numbers, but I also kind of like this a little bit too. It's kind of a steampunk. So here's the third paper, which I really kind of like just like it is. Okay, that was weird. That must have been Bob. Made like a cat noise. All right, let me find what I'm looking for. There it is. What I'm thinking about doing, and I'll do it on this paper first so you can kind of tell me yes or no. That motorcycle has green on it. This is iridescent medium, which is sparkly. And I'm going to make 2 piles. I actually may make a third one. I'm leaning towards this Lucky Shamrock. I think I will make a third one. Little Lucky Shamrock in one. A little Hydrangea Blue. That's our main color in this one. And a little Tainted Love Teal in the third one. And they're off camera. I know you can't see it. Sorry. I can probably back the camera out. Let me see. I think we're still in a little bit from yesterday. We definitely, I know we are. Because she's the Mad Hatter. That's a little better. You can see these are mine. And then what I'm going to do is just take a palette knife and mix the magicals in with the medium. Now the medium dries clear, but it is sparkly. So it adds to the sparkle. It doesn't dull any sparkle that's in the magicals. All right, so I'm going to leave that one there with its own palette knife. We'll take, this is the Hydrangea Blue. And this is from Liquitex Basics. Now it's a little thinner than a modeling paste. Right, so there's that one. And then the third one is Tainted Love Teal. And it's a little darker. Well, it will be when I mix it. And you have to remember there's white in this right now, but it will dry clear. And what my thought was to pick out parts of the stencil that we like and stencil like it was modeling paste. I'm just stenciling over. I'm going to switch to the green. kind of let them mix, not mix on my palette, but more tainted teal. A little bit more of this green. Like I said, this is not the paper for Rocky. This is just to give you the idea. And it would not be put on in its entirety. I would probably tear it up and put it on in pieces. I might even put the words on in pieces. Might be more about the numbers and some of the specific words, but not all of them. Like oil pressure. I don't know. Some of the words I like, some of them I don't. Got some of that blue. Okay. So that's what I was thinking. Let me hold it up. Set the stencil down on this other part of the paper. Let me hold it up a little bit closer to the camera. Can you see? And it's raised up a little bit. And it's iridescent. What we can do is put the paper on and then add the words. Is what I was thinking. Where we want them. Through the stencil. All right, so I'm going to hit that with the heat gun just a little bit. I'm actually going to go wash this stencil real quick. Because that iridescent medium, it's not thick like modeling paste, but it's, you like it? Okay. Let me dry this one. We may use some of this. But I will probably put the paper on and then do some of that. That's not totally dry, but probably dry enough we can hope Tay-Tay avoids it. All right, so here's Rocky, and here's our paper. I'm gonna cut. want this. I don't want this, all of it. I might use part of this, but I don't want all of that. I know I want this part where Harris is to show up. Okay, that's good. I'm going to cut off. Get my trimmer. I'm going to trim just a little bit more this side. Get that red off there. Okay, and I'm not going to worry about the parts of the motorcycle. I can always add those back if I need to. I just don't. Okay. Harrison does not going to show up, but it's so close. It's not going to show up anyways. But they'll know. It's the. Let me get rid of that top of the new bottle. All right. And I'm not going to put the glue on the top right now. I'm just going to put the glue on the paper. I'm going to purposely leave that little gap there. Let's see. Let's I just don't like this picture on here. Okay, I'm going to save that for a minute. Let's see. I'm going to use... This is Cincinnati proper. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the words. I just haven't put them back. I'm gonna put them back on in just a minute. I'm gonna stencil the words on. Okay, and then let's. Okay, I'm not gonna worry down here too much. Actually, I like a torn edge, not a. Put that right down there. I like the side with the mileage thing better. Stick that Ohio in there. It may not show up. We'll see. Oh, let's get rid of the extra map paper. Move the glue. Okay. I'm going to spray the hydrangea glue. I'm not worried about covering up the picture because it's going to get underpainted anyways and covered. I just want to get rid of the white. Blot our friend Rocky. kind of like that splattered. Look. I'm not getting it. I got it in a couple places. Let's try that. Alright, let me cut. Bit extra off the side. Okay. Now let's do the stencil. I want to dry this bottom here just a little bit. Okay, now I don't want to get the words on Rocky, of course. I'm just blotting my stencil dry so that I don't. And I'm just grabbing all three colors in different areas. What? What, Bob? Huh? I can go with you. She isn't. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, Bob just showed me a text.
It would be funny.
That was hilarious.
But it's
It is.
not.
It is.
Sad, but it.
I like this 1, 2, 3. I like the numbers. All right, so let's clean this off. Oh, that's interesting. It's going to be hard for you guys to see it on the camera, probably. All right, let me go wash off the stencil again because I don't want to transfer any of this to other areas. and I'm going to dry it real quick. I'm going to turn the stencil and use this part, a different part, right over here. It's got more numbers. It says ticket. Try not to come over my other letters that I already did up here in the corner. I need a little bit more mixed up, and I'm going to use the hydrangea. This is all going to be motorcycle for the most part. I'm going to put these numbers right down here. I'm just trying to keep the dirty part of the stencil off the picture and the wet stuff. Okay. And I'm going to take a piece of paper and cover up Rocky. I want one other thing in here. But I don't want it on Rocky. I want this 15 poking out here. And then I might later add something else with some paint in the stencil. Alright, I gotta clean my stencil off real quick and clean the table off. That's gotta dry anyways. Okay, let that dry. Stick all those in water. Let's move this over here for a minute. Let's put the magicals up. Well, I say put them up, but there's one of them I may want. Wait a minute. Let's see something real quick. Get up. Like I said, this is just kind of sticky when it's still wet. All right. Just sparkly everywhere now. Well, let's put the lid on the glue. All right, let's get Rocky back. Get a baby wipe. Okay. A little piece here. I don't like. A little piece there. Just gonna blend it out. I want to make sure there isn't anything 3D on Rocky. Let's see if we can hurry this along and dry it just a little bit, so I am going to turn the heat gun on. I think this is going to be too, I think it needs to dry overnight before I do any of the undercoating. The other thing I might consider doing is might take some steampunk sepia and make a spray and get it to settle in the between the the areas a little bit and bring out some of that, but I may not. But I kind of like it. It's really tone on tone. It is sparkly. You can't really see the shimmer. So I think let's let it dry. Let me put it up. Let me show you Tiffany, Little Miss Breakfast with Tiffany. Her bling is coming. I worked on her eyes some more. I realized it was just white, so I added that little bit of gray. Her earrings set now. Tried to flatten it, but it got bumpy in other areas. It'll flatten in when I tape it in. So I ordered the bling last night so we can finish her necklace. Yeah, I think the background's real pretty. So what we could do is look at, and I'm glad I did this. I'll get the other set that I have it coming is Jingle Bells. We could look at, let me put this paper up. That's got to dry before it goes in a box, but let me put these papers back in the blues so that they can be used again, and I'll put this up to dry. We could work on Jane's backgrounds. Jane is here, right? It needs to be super soft for Jane, is what I've determined. So there's Delilah in the ice bowl. Here's Tyler and Delilah. And there's Claire. These are just the, like I said, these are just the sketches. What I thought about we could do, Jane, is do we just want to puddle some real pale, yeah, no more shimmer or sparkle. That's it. That's it. But I may grunge it up a little bit with the steampunk sepia to make the letters pop, but no, there wouldn't be any more. What I thought about is, do we want to take, I thought about taking that Rambling Rose and making a real pale version of it. And maybe some watercolor and puddle some watercolors in the background. I don't know if we want pink though. Oh God, May, there's a lot. There's sets that are sparkly, there's sets that are flat. For a while there, they were coming out with one every month. I don't think they do it as often. I think there's 3 or maybe 4 a year. But I thought we might want to just watercolor a background and just flood it with some watercolor. But I'm leaning toward soft creams and not yellows. I know Claire Solid Black. I'm talking about the backgrounds. I'm not talking about the dogs themselves. Or do you want like sky blue? I think Claire'd be pretty with a blue. not yellows. Because they're mostly yellow, yeah. Do you want to just do some soft blues? Sky blue would work for everybody. Okay, let's do that. Um, let's try a washed out cerulean blue. I'm going to get a piece of paper that's a small piece that we can test. And I need watercolor, water. And we could put a little bit of the magical blue in towards the end with that, the really, really light. Okay, so let's get the paper wet. Get the paint wet. I just want a very, but I'm thinking real soft, and we can puddle it and dry it and let it puddle and do blooms that kind of, or we can just do, I think this brush might have water in it. I think there's a little purple in it from a, I don't think it was clean, because that looks too lavender. Or I'm picking something up off the paper. Yeah, that's more. This paper's got something on it. That's more what I was thinking. This one on the left chain is a real soft blue. And then if we want to, we can do some little bit of puddly areas in the magicals. Yeah. So we'll do this, and then we'll add a little magicals after. But we don't want it too dark. That's why I don't want to. Now the other possibility is to do this. This is the blue magicals. We could just spray it. With that, I could water that down more and let it dry like that. Yeah. I think this is better after the fact. Like if we put a real nice base down, and then we maybe want to puddle some. But I'm leaning towards the watercolors and then the magicals on top. I'm going to start with Claire. And I'm going to get the brush that I really like. I'm gonna lighten it. And again, I'm not worried about if blue gets on the drawing because it's going to have paint and it's going to have okay, I think that's soft enough. Now let's take the magicals and give it a little texture. Blot it right there. Again, I'm not worried about, because it's going to get paint over it. I'm not worried about that at all. All right, I like that one. Is that too dark? No, I know they're squared off. It's the angle of the pictures. I know it's squared off. It's the way they're hanging in the pictures. It's a fold. It does it in all of the pictures that are straight on. It's because they're straight on and not, their head's not turned sideways. And we can give them more of a squared off feeling, but that's how they are in every single one of those pictures. I'm assuming it's the way it's, because it's straight on, it's not a side profile. But we can drop this one down more and make it more squared. Well, I'm telling you what's in the pictures, how it is in the picture. But it is black, so it's hard to tell. But it's shaggy still, right? Color's perfect. Okay. It's the ears are still shaggy, correct? The hair's long. I'm waiting for Jane. Let's try this real quick. Yeah, so when I put it in there, we'll get rid of that line and it'll be just the hair shag. But we'll dry this. I like this for her because that'll set off the black. Okay. Let's do Delilah next. And I don't know that I'll use very many of those papers. I may use a few. I'm thinking I'll use some of this green on the bottom of Delilah. But here's her picture. You can see it's kind of, here's the side of the ear. It's kind of sideways. And then this more is a jowl and her ears back here. You really can't see. Does that make sense, Jane, what I'm saying in the picture? The lines I'm seeing? But we'll work on it when we do the underpainting. And it'll be more shaggy, so it'll be okay. So I think on Delilah, first of all, there's a line missing. Let me find a pencil. This is where that ice bowl sits. I think this needs a division of foreground. And that's where I'm thinking of putting Janet's paper that's green is down here. Yeah, you can't see them, Jane. Yeah, they're kind of hidden in the picture. But we'll make it kind of shaggy and we'll make that one where you can sort of see that it goes back squared off. Same here. They're not, I know they're not pointed. It's the hair and this is the first picture you saw. That's why you picked her, right? So we'll do the blue in the background and then we'll maybe add a real pale blue here, but we'll put the green paper over so that it'll be blue with the green. And we'll do the magicals on the top like we just did. We'll keep it real soft. Because she's outside in that picture anyways. I mean, I know it was mostly a field of grass around her. Yeah, she didn't have a lot of hair then. That's not brown on there, it's parts of the brush splintering. All right, let's do the same. Magical spray. I just want to blot it in a couple places. Okay. All that up. Dry that real quick. Yes. Kind of looks like soft clouds. All right, so let's set her to the side. And then on this one, do the blue up here, and then what about using some of this soft pink at the bottom, or too much? The other thought is, we don't have to decide this now, but what about doing the soft blue here and then doing vintage paper down here? Yeah, they were cute together. I already put the blue on Claire, but I don't know what you mean by use the pink on Claire. I'll pull it back out in a minute. Claire didn't have a foreground, but that doesn't mean we can't give her some. The vintage. I like that idea too. It'll add some interest to it, some collage interest to it. Like some music paper. Again, that's brush. Let's give it a spray of the hydrangea. Just sprayed my table. Need a different paper towel. I don't want that to be too dark. Alright, so let's let that dry. Let's get Claire back out. Let's dry that off. I think we're done with the watercolor for right now. Okay, so when you say use the pink for Claire, let's pull out the pink and let's see what we're thinking. Are you thinking take like a piece of it torn that's like in here? This is paper from Janet Magical's paper. So I don't have enough of this to do the matte. But we can try doing a matte. Let's put her up. Let's put this up. Let's try this. I mean, I don't have enough of that pink paper from Janet to do a matte. Let's see what we can do or get with the Ramblin' Rose. Because I don't have this, I don't know what this was that Janet even printed on. It looks like tissue paper. And I don't have the same colors as Janet of Magicals. But I did get that light colored Ramblin' Rose. I don't really have a yellow at all. But there is... Hi, Lori. Oh, it's watercolor paper, May. It's 140-pound watercolor paper. What good does it do to do a swatch and then you lose the swatch? Here's the Ramblin' Rose. Do we want to add a little autumn crimson in places? And maybe some cattail copper? That's what I think. If we don't like it, I'll use it on something else. So that's what I think. I don't have yellow. Okay. I don't really like yellow. Canna lily, the pink, and a crimson. Let's do it on a piece of paper though. Let's find another piece of paper to test it on and see if we like that combo. Here's some watercolor paper. This might be too bright. This might be too coppery for you. So I'm going to do all three, and then we'll see how we like them by themselves. Okay? So we'll play, and then we'll do what we decide. Okay, I'm just going to put it on the paper rather than the mat. And I'm not putting a whole lot on this paper. I'm just putting a little bit here and there. I'm going to put more of this pink that I think is what the one we're going to like. Because it's kind of a rose gold pink. And I want very, very little of this one. Very little. Alright, let's spray up from on high. Okay, I'll be honest, I don't think that's the way we want to do the frame. Let's try. That's more what I'm thinking we want for the frame. Is really pale for Jane. Not any of this. I think the combination is pretty, but we don't want any of this really obvious. I think we need to do it on the mat. The pink alone. Let's try that. And let's try it on the mat the way I think we want to do it. We might need to make a spray. Let's do that, actually, Jane. Let's do the pink alone, because I think the pink is going to be more you in reality. Those are good starts to some paper. That over there. All right, let's get a mister. Okay, let me ditch what's in here. It's not really anything, and rinse that out. All right, let's just do the pink, the rose pink. It's softer. And that was a pink that was in it, but it's stained, but it's not going to really affect the color. Like I said, if we don't like the matte, I'll use it for some other project. Try to find X-Acto knife. I have nightmares about this stuff going everywhere one day. Okay, so let's take the mat. This is just the pink. We'll water it down, so don't panic. And we'll blot it. Mm. I don't think so. Is that? Now let's try it, because it does. It went like right in it. But it does have some sparkle to it. We'll hold it up against the blue in a minute. The other possibility is we could even add pieces of this to it, not all around it, but we could add some of this in places if we needed to. Um, that says Claire? Yeah, you don't. I know you don't like the white. We can do something to the other mats too. I mean, you can buy 9x12 frames. They're just harder to find. Do we want? I don't know if there's not enough of this. Do we want any of this? The blue would come through. Do we want this in the background with the blue peeking behind it? And most this brightest part would be gone. Same with a lot of this. Maybe pieces? Okay, let me trace and cut out the middle, and we can see what we think. I kind of like it because you have to remember the white would go away, but we might want more torn. Yeah, because there's going to be this black. I'm leaning towards just sort of tearing away. I want a torn. I don't like it so rounded. So let's. I say bits of it. I agree with you. I think just bits. And then maybe this piece in here. Of course, that wouldn't be there. And then maybe a piece just sort of here. Just kind of softens it a little. What do you think of that, Jane? I like the bits too. This won't be here on her. And that's 3, so that's an odd number. Tear this piece. I don't want them too small. I want to back that one up a little bit. I think I want to make this one. That's too straight a line now. Trying to get a more organic. Yeah, I think that looks good. I think it softens, it brings the frame and the picture together. Okay, let me move the frame. All right, let's get that. Okay. And the blue's going to come through. This is the Magicals that Janet sent me on tissue paper that she had. Let's cut that tissue off the side. That edge down. Okay. Let me dry that and I'll put the mat back on it. So we can see. See, I think that's pretty. I think that looks like soft, fluffy cloud, sort of. It's very pastel. Not me at all. I don't really even have a lot of pastels. That's how unpastel I am. Got rid of those paper towels. All right, so this one we need to let dry. Do you want to do the mats for these? How do we want to do? For this one, what if we use the vintage paper? Like if we take pieces of the vintage paper on that mat. Or we could take the sepia color could also put um, a metallic champagne color on the mat. That might be pretty. Like an oyster, not an oyster pearl. Mink pearl. The mink pearl is pretty. Just a second, it might be over here. That's odd. That paint has disappeared. Here it is. I have a new bottle of it. It's kind of a champagne color. Let me put some of this on paper. Because I'm thinking maybe we would want... No, not on the paper. I'm talking about the mat. Because I know you don't like the mats white. So... This is the mink pearl. I was thinking about what we wanted to do for this mat. Do we want to just put like a glaze on it? Because this is going to have the music paper that's kind of in the antique colors. There's the mink pearl. And I'll put the champagne out. Oop, that one's not mixed. Because we're going to put the paper down here. We're going to collage the music paper and the vintage papers, the text. Here's the champagne color's probably too yellow. I'll take and mix the two. Yeah, don't like them mixed. There's also rich espresso, which is a pretty brown. That might be really pretty. I actually think this might be my choice. Because you have to remember, it would pick up on where I'm just talking about the mat. If you want it real light, we could do a combination. I like the rich espresso. I like this one. It's got less pink to it. This one I think goes a little pink. Let me mark on these. This one's 3. This one's 2. And this one's 1. Okay, you agree with me. So let's get a mat. Get rid of those. And we'll paint a mat. which with the espresso. And we'll get rid of the white mats that way. Use that brush. I think this will pick up the tones of the dog. Because they both have those darker tones in their fur in places. And I think that'll pick that up. I have to say, I may be painting some more frames every once in a while with this stuff. It's pretty. You may not be able to see the shimmer. Make sure there's no holidays, streaks, when it dries. Sideways. So that one will be on them. And like I said, this will have the, I think that looks pretty. This will have the vintage paper down here. So this is just a piece of paper to kind of show you. Oh, this is the paper. This is the one I wanted, and it is there. This is one of the pieces I want to use because it's got the definition of dog. So that'll be in there somewhere. But it'd be kind of like that. There'll be more papers, and there can be some music paper. So we're good on that? I like it. I think that's going to be really set the dogs will get, when you get the dogs done, that'll really set that off. And then we'll just put the dictionary paper down here and maybe even some music paper. Yeah, see, because I did them shaggy on this one, which is what I'll do on Claire's. Okay. We're almost done. All right, so the next question, we're putting the green. In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. This is paper, so it's not gonna show, like it's not gonna show through. It's not gonna go see-through. So my thought was, is a jagged torn line okay, Jane? I don't like that pink as much. So my thought is to piece in these pieces. Trying to see. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. If I cut this away, then I can mark where the bowl is going to be. So we'll just get a pencil. We'll cut out that grassy area. And then we need just another piece to match up over here. And then we'll match up a piece over here, kind of. Okay, so let's get the blue. Some of that grass won't even show in the mat. And then I'm just trying to break up where I pieced it so it's not so obvious that it was pieced. Paper just a little bit more. Okay. Let's cut off that extra. Little bits of that in the green drawer. Alright, so couple thoughts. Jane, do you plan, are these going to hang together in the same place? I'm thinking about what we want to do with this mat. Do we want to do the same brown where you're going to hang these together? Or do we want to do something more whimsical? Do we want a silver because the my first thought is if you're going to hang them as a grouping, to do the same brown. This will be that silvery color. More whimsical. Okay, so we don't want this. I don't keep that because I want that side there. I'm thinking out loud. Sewing paper. We could find a napkin that we liked, but I don't know if I have enough of any napkin. I do have a lot of this napkin. I kind of like that. Trying to see if I have other napkins that we could. No. Too serious. Not crazy about that. Okay. I'm just pulling out ones I have enough of to do. We can just paint it a color too. I have enough of this napkin. You look in the other box. Yeah, it could be pieced. Magicals. Okay. I have no problem with the magicals. Um, Now I do have that, which is polka dots. Not the rest of the napkin, just the polka dot part. But you don't like white, really. But we could do magicals and then polka dots on top. Okay. I'm trying to find. trying to find my. Here it is. Well, I lean towards these coppery oranges. Yeah, I don't know that I can do what Janet does with the frame, but what I want you to do is pick out colors. I'm not Janet, so you mean sort of like this, like we did here. But what I want you to do is pick out the colors. What would Janet do? Well, I'm not Janet. And I don't have Janet's colors. You want brighter. What about this purple violet teal color? And maybe some of the pop. Give me a color, Jane, to start with. And we'll start with one color and we'll spray it. And gotta move Delilah here. The purple. Okay, I like the purple. Okay, this time I do want to do a little. It went right into that mat, like, bam, right away. I think I want to put water on the mat. Because there was not much moving it. Okay. Okay, this is.
No, it's not for them. It is.
Okay, let's. Let me close that so I don't. All right, let's. Paper towels got away from me. There they are. Okay. Do you want more in this corner up here? Do you want to add the other purple anywhere? Works for you, Jean. Leave this corner alone or add a little more? Leave it alone. Type the words leave it alone or keep going. Yeah, it's bright. It's pretty. I like the blotchiness. Cover the white. Okay. Keep going. Okay, let's set that to the side. Okay, when you say keep going, you want to do another layer of the same color, or do you want to do a little bit of the blue purple? I think so too. I want to put it on the table and then dab in it because it seems to work a little bit. A different fan brush. Get this corner. There. I think I like it kind of right where it is now. Let's soak up this on some just random paper. Okay, let's try this because I think it looks good too. Let's soften those bits with my finger if I can now. All right, let's dry this with the heat gun real quick. And it's shimmery. Okay, I need just a touch. Just a touch of that. Had a bald spot. I almost made my nightmare a reality. The mat's warped right now, but it'll dry flat. Okay, so that'll be like that. Okay, we're going to stop right there. Let me stop the recording.